The finest quality deluxe construction comes with a trusted name, India Builders.
I am Srinivasan and my wife Prema Srinivasan. We have a son and a daughter. One lives in Bangalore, other one lives in Bombay, and they have a daughter each. We were all living in Bombay and Delhi for our last almost 40 years. And we came down to Madras only after my retirement in 1996. And I moved into my house, this very place, which I actually built in 1984. But all along it was rented out, and we had the opportunity to move into our own house only in 1996. And we had a wonderful time in this place since then. And I had met Mr. Uttam Kumar, and in fact he was the first person whom I met in India Builders. And I found him to be extremely pleasant and knowledgeable in this area. And then he gave me a suggestion: instead of maintaining this as an independent house, why not convert it into an apartment complex? So I asked him for a small proposal, which is submitted in June 2010, which is acceptable, and then I was ready to hand over the keys to him at the time. But then the formalities all had to be gone through, and a few months later we moved into another rented house. After living in our own house for quite a few years, we had the experience of staying in Madras in a rented house for a short while this building was demolished and rebuilt. When I saw the building completely razed to the earth, I felt very uneasy. But when I saw this come up again as a nice, attractive building, it gave me a lot of joy. And besides Mr. Uttam Kumar, I had the opportunity to interact with Ms. Varalakshmi, and since then I have been in touch with her. And as for your other departments, I do not know your organizational structure in terms of various departments, but my interaction has always been with the people who are immediately connected with the building phase of like the site supervisors, the site engineer, your materials manager, and all the other people. And each one was pleasant. Of course, there are very many moments when we had differences of opinion, but then ultimately it is mutually discussed and agreed to. The reason why I went in for India Builders for a joint development is nothing strange or great, because they are the ones who have been in this very same street. They already had about 4 or 5 other buildings which have come up while we were living here in this place. And when I did an inquiry with some of my friends and people who had earlier given this work to India Builders as joint development, I had no negative feedback from any of those people. So I had no hesitation in asking India Builders to take up this project. And during the construction phase, and there are a few moments of anxiety as far as we were concerned, mainly because of the delays that came up at different phases, particularly in the last stages of construction. And then during that phase, we also decided to move in as quickly as possible. And in the initial stages of our moving into this house, we had mixed feelings whether we made a mistake in moving in too early or we moved in the right time. Mainly because we had quite some initial difficulties in moving and settling down in this house. And all the difficulties we experienced, they were all one by one resolved. Now we are extremely happy. We have now settled into our own house, and we are extremely delighted that India Builders was the one chosen one. And I have made a few mention to some of my friends who are also planning, and I hope they decide to take up the, when their turn comes up. That's about it.